Good morning, book lovers of the internet. Welcome or welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, make sure to subscribe because for every subscriber, I get a new subscriber and I also read a page from a book of my choice. So this video is for 2,350 subscribers. Thank you so much, by the way. And in this one, I am going to be reviewing this book by Ian McEwan called Nutshell. This one has about 200 pages and I rated it 4 out of 5 stars and I'll be letting you know what I think about it. So first of all, I opted to read this because I thought it would be interesting to experience a perspective which is completely new to me, and it rather was. So, if you don't know, and as you can probably see on the cover over here, this story is told from the perspective of a 9-month-old fetus, I suppose, and I was very happy to read the book from a different perspective because it was my first time doing so, and you always learn something new when you read books from another perspective, and the 9-month-old fetus I think is very original. So I didn't really enjoy Atonement much, but wanted to give McEwan another go, and this time he did not disappoint, so I read Atonement a couple of years ago, and I had to do it for my A-level, for my exams, so maybe that might be a big part of the reason why I didn't enjoy it as much as I probably would have otherwise. Despite the very simple plot, McEwan is fantastic with writing unreliable narrators, as we can also see with Bryony and Atonement, and at least the 9-month-old fetus has a bit of an excuse in this one, unlike Bryony. So he can't see anything that's going on in the outside world, and he can only hear it and imagine it, and the entire thing is told from his perspective, by the way, from what he can hear and what he can imagine seeing, but he can't see anything. Just he is very reliant on his mother and her boyfriend as well, her her father's brother. So yeah, quite a weird plot, even though it is very simple. Um, I suppose that saying the child is too smart for his own age might come across as comedic, but it is also rather true in my opinion. And I truly dislike how much of an alcoholic his mother is and how irresponsible both Trudy, his mother, and Claude are. Claude is disgusting, but rather than a murderer, I think that describing him as primitive, apish, might be probably more appropriate, more suitable for a guy like him. Trudy, on the other hand, not so much. She is very irresponsible. She knows exactly what is going on, and I feel as though she is pretending that she actually cares about her former husband's demise, which she was a huge part of. And the irony doesn't really um, get away from me, basically, doesn't really trick me that much, and um, her behavior just proves that she doesn't really care, even though she's pretending to feel for her former husband, and he is now dead, basically. This is the whole premise of the story, but what's interesting is that we get to see it from the fetus's perspective, somebody who is so close to her, yet so far away from the real world at the same time. I understand how the focus is, of course, not on the plot, but rather on what the fetus is perceiving in his mind and what he can hear, what he can conjure. The language is rather beautiful, but also certainly quite pretentious and needlessly metaphorical. And even though that is something that is attributed to Ian McEwan, I feel as though he sometimes overdoes it, and that kind of ruins my enjoyment of the story, of the perspective, of the point of view. And sometimes when you're reading a book to see another perspective and you're not focusing fully on it, the beautiful language isn't really the priority, and therefore it comes across as too much sometimes, as an overdose of beautiful metaphorical literary language. Then again, I suppose it is Ian McEwan's signature in writing, and he is known for it basically. So when AI takes over and when it starts writing entire books, if it hasn't already, people might still be able to decipher that a book was genuinely written by Ian McEwan. Um, so it is also very cool to see how a child who can't utter a word can narrate an entire story, picturing the injustice surrounding him very vividly. So this is more of the irony I was speaking about earlier, and it's fantastic because that is exactly why I read the book. I wanted to see how a person who can't see anything, who can't speak, yet can narrate and can describe everything so vividly, so well. I wanted to see how it would go, and McEwan made it work quite well. So once again, everything just seems so close yet so far, even as the reader. We're in the mind of the child, so we don't really know whether we should rely on him, whether we should trust him or not. And he is just a child after all. There is a bit of a story towards the end, which is definitely not true, just something he conjures, which is absolutely freaky. I don't want to spoil it for you, but it turns out that it's all part of the imagination. So that begs the question, how much of the story can I actually trust, you know? So, one more thing which I think didn't make a lot of sense is that if Trudy wanted John gone, if she wanted him out of the picture, and Claude wanted to as well, basically, if they wanted John out of the picture, um, for his money, basically. Why is it frequently established that John was a brokey to begin with? It's quite a contradiction, in my opinion, and this might, of course, have to do with the baby's interpretation of the story, and with Ian McEwan's writing unreliable narrators might be a safety net for any errors or contradictions he might make in his own writing. And the closeness, yet being so far away from the real world, and with his mother in terms of closeness, that is pretty great as well. That is why I rated the book 4 out of 5 stars. Um, there were some inconsistencies, of course, though I can't blame McEwan, though I see what he does with that, and it is a safety net. It kind of pisses me off, yet I am astounded that he managed to find some sort of balance between the two at the same time. So, anyway, that is all I had to say about Ian McEwan's Nutshell. Let me know if you've read this one, and also let me know in the comment section what your thoughts about it are. And I would be very happy to chat if you have any other different opinions to mine, and if you have any other insights about the book which I might have missed out on. So let me know what you think. Make sure to like, subscribe, share anything to help out the channel, and check out my other content as well. I hope to go live later on today, this afternoon, and I will also make another video, by the way. So stay tuned for more content, and I will see you in the next one, hopefully very, very soon. Bye, guys.